It's so often when I walk amongst members of the biz news community, people I don't even know come up to me and say, "Hey, you and Rob HERSOV should be doing this. Hey, you and Rob HERSOV should be doing that." Well, Rob HERSOV is with me now. He has had a huge impact on the biz news tribe. He, 5 years ago, stood up in the Drakensberg and said, "Futsek ANC." He was saying things at that stage that many people thought were almost heresy. Well, 5 years on, there's a lot of action that's happening on the kind of stuff that Rob said we should be getting busy with. And he's just written a story for Biz News about a community in the Free State. We're going to find out more from him about this courageous approach, which could be a template for many other communities in South Africa over the next 20 minutes or so. Rob, the community that you wrote about is from Mafube. Now, where the heck is Mafube?
So guys, Rob HERSOV, I've just had the most amazing meeting. These guys flew in from Frankfurt, which is a small town in the second smallest municipality in South Africa called Mafube, the Mafube district. And they have a model of how to fix this country from the bottom up. And I'm going to look into this. I've heard the most extraordinary stuff this morning. And this is going to be a journey we're going to go on over the next few months about learning how a group of people have come together to fix their community from the bottom up. Okay? Go and have a look at Frankfurt. It's somewhere where the N1 and the N3 meet. It's just inside the Free State from KZN. And it's got the Vaal River. And the Wilge River. I'm just learning about this. I think I've flown over it a few times. And I'm going to find out about it, and I'm going to go up there in August. So let's learn about how to fix South Africa through Mafube district.
So I haven't been there. Mafube is a flyover town in South Africa. It's the second smallest municipality in South Africa, 60,000 people. And it's somewhere, it's this sort of, it's near the N1 and the N3. The Vaal and the Wilge rivers. It's in the Free State, and it's a primarily farming community. And the main town is Frankfurt, but it also encompasses Villiers, Tweeling, and Cornelia. And I haven't been there. How the hell did I hear about it? Well, I was at the Future of Nations conference, and this guy came up to me and said, "Rob, we need to talk about Mafube." And I was like, "What the hell's Mafube?" He said, "Well, it's a municipality in South Africa in the Free State." And I was going, "Oh no, not again." Because I get everything thrown at me, as I'm sure you do, Alec. And I got a call a week later from Hans and Yanni. And Hans and Yanni said, "Rob, we're going to send you some information on Mafube. We really need you to focus on what we're doing and try and get your head around it, because we think we've got a template for fixing South Africa." And I went, "Oh no, not again," because everyone's sending me, "This is how to fix South Africa." But they were persistent. And Hans and Yanni and a guy, Julius Bosch, and Opa Mokoena said, "We are flying down to Cape Town to see you." And that's that. So there was no escape. So I said to Annette, "All right, I've got to do it." So these guys flew down. I met them a couple of days ago, and I sat and listened. And I was blown away by what they told me. I was blown away. They have a template for fixing South Africa, municipality by municipality, bottom up. But more than just a template, they've actually done it. They're actually paying money. They're collecting tax. They're fixing things. They've set up their own power. They distribute their own power. They bill for their own power, and they give money back to Eskom. What they've done has blown me away. And I'm going to go there after the Biz News Drakensberg conference. So on the 14th of August, myself and a couple of other people, Corne Mulder, Theodi Acher, Gerard Papenfuss, David Root, and Prince Michele, are going to drive and fly. David's got his plane, so he's flying. And I think it's an hour and a half, 2 hours from the Drakensberg. We're going to go up there and take a look. We're actually going to go and look.
Rob, you have been there. You have been there. I mean, anybody who's traveled between Johannesburg and Cape Town along the N1 will go through, Johannesburg and Durban will go through Villiers. And Villiers is a big town on the left-hand side. So you for sure have been there. But I suppose the question is, what drove these guys to doing that? Because it's, for the way you described what they've been up to, it's quite a process.
It is quite a process. And what drove them to do it was collapse of their municipality and the Boermakkerplan resilience, that we are not going to let our towns and our municipality fall apart. We are going to do something about it. We're going to fix this place. We're going to pull together and we're going to make things happen.
Well, they certainly have done that. But let's start at the very beginning. Was there a spark that got them to move towards it? You do talk about a organization that in 2012 started putting together called Rural Maintenance, that's been managing electricity for that area. That's a long time ago, 14 years ago, that they've been managing the electricity, presumably because Eskom was either not delivering or not being paid.
Correct. Everything was falling apart. The electricity supply had collapsed, sewage had collapsed, there were potholes in the roads. The story that every single municipality outside of the Western Cape is suffering from. And in 2012, they said, we've had enough. We cannot afford to allow this to happen, and we're going to do something about it. And they contracted with an organization called Rural Maintenance Free State. And my meeting a few days ago, one of the son of the founder, Julius Bosch, came to the meeting. And this is a, hard-nosed businessman, Afrikaans family, that have operations in the Northern Cape, in Springbok, in various other places. But I think their most successful implementation of what they do is in Frankfurt and in the Matubi municipality. They basically have taken control of the distribution of electricity and are now only recently getting into production of electricity. So let's talk about distribution first. They put up the money on a 25-year contract. They got a 25-year contract from the community, from the municipality, to rebuild the grid, build customers, collect the money, keep a certain amount for capex, maintenance, and profit, and refund the rest to Eskom. So with the agreement of Eskom, with agreement of the municipality, this organization, the Bosch family, put up the money, and they've been loss-making for a number of years because they've had to invest heavily in the grid, in the infrastructure, in billing. And their default is 2%. They have 2% failure of people who won't pay or can't pay. And these are usually businesses that have gone bust, not private citizens, farms. And what that tells you is there is money and people are prepared to pay if they get the services. This is one of the crucial messages that's come out of Matubi. Rural Maintenance Free State have been able to spend the money, take the risk, bill people, and collect. I mean, they're 99% of the money they've been able to collect from people who pay for the service they receive. It's an extraordinary operation. What they've done then is vertically integrate or backward integrate into power production. So they got the rights and have set up an 8.9 megawatt solar operation. And they are now building, listen to this, a coal-fired power plant for 9 megawatts to supply redundant energy, that's 24/7 energy, to Matubi. And they have permission from Eskom, and they're going ahead on it. So they've gone from billing, maintenance, grid distribution, to now producing power. Extraordinary.
Presumably they give the municipality something.
Yes, they do. They contribute to municipal taxes. But it's profitable now. And the Bosch family, they still need a number of years to make their money back and generate an income. And that's why they need a 25-year contract. And believe me, they've been, Ace Magashule and the gangsters of the ANC in the Free State have tried everything possible to stop this happening. The ANC were running the municipality. But what happened, I think, 10 years ago was Opa Mokonya formed Mafubi First. This is a black organization that commanded, I think in 2019, 11% of the vote. It's way, way more now. And Mafubi First then there's a black initiative that went for white support amongst the farmers and teamed up with the Mafubi municipality, but the Mafubi Business Forum, Farmers Association, and Residents Association. So blacks, whites, farmers, residents, employed, unemployed, all got together to say, we're going to fix our community. And they're now, raising the taxes, paying their bills, and they're moving on to fixing sewage, fixing potholes, and fixing other elements of their municipality. This is truly bottom up.
Rob, do they have control then of the town council?
They don't, but they will. So come November the 4th, I think it's November the 4th, 2026, they will be registered as a political party. And with the support of the Freedom Front Plus, let me make this very clear. Freedom Front Plus has been strongly behind this. And the District Agricultural Union and all the other farmers associations and other associations, they have formed a political party that is going to run in the municipal elections, not nationally, municipally. And they think they can win it. They think they can get the majority of the councillors. And then it's all systems go on taking this template, fixing everything else that needs to be fixed. And what they then want to do, and they've created a Mafubi Stakeholders Compact, which is worth reading. I haven't read it in detail. I put it into AI, and that AI synthesized it for me. But that is the template to take to the rest of South Africa.
So this is a really interesting template, as you explain it. Maybe just unpack it a little bit more for us. We have Helen Ziller says all politics is local. And in the second smallest municipality in South Africa, they've got really local on their politics. They've now created this party called Mafubi First. They're going to stand in the election, and they are anticipating that they will win control of the council and then be able to extend this partnership that they have with business in the area. But the ANC must be scared rigid by this, because this would mean the end of, or exposing its incompetence in so many other municipalities, and maybe urging people who want to take control of their circumstances to do a similar thing.
Exactly. The Mafubi Stakeholders Compact is a governance-supported blueprint agreed through workshops with government role players, and proposes a ring-fenced revenue account, creditor engagement, conditional amnesty, priority deadlines, and oversight structures working with rural Free State system support. It was never to take over the municipality. The work was to make municipalities function properly.
Okay, so the problem being that if the ANC is not mad about all of this, what have they done? And certainly in your piece, you said that there had been kickback.
I mean, the ANC Bagashula tried to ban it. The ANC and the Free State tried to fight against it. And, with the support of AfriForum and Solidariteit and the Freedom Front Plus, the Mafubi Business Forum basically has fought in the courts to a point where the Free State High Court ordered mandatory provincial intervention, a financial recovery plan, and immediate action to stop the sewage pollution of the Vaal and Wilga rivers. I'm going to read this to you because I need my notes here. I'm quite fresh to the story. In 2025, a full bench again declared non-compliance with previous orders and compelled the state to implement the recovery plan, stop wastewater pollution, take emergency measures, and report back under oath. So they got the court to back them. The court pushed back against the ANC, the Free State Court, and supported the municipality in their endeavors.
Okay. They also, and this was the one part of the story that I was a bit confused on. So you've got the Mafubi First organization, and they are making things happen. But you still got a municipality. And a municipality seems to be terribly dysfunctional, because as part of your story, they actually did not pay over 14.7 million rand in retirement funds that they took from the workers. They kept the money, They took it off the workers' salaries, but didn't put it into the retirement funding. So clearly, they just used that for, well, who knows? Interesting other areas. You could speculate on that, but that there was a court action which has done what? Is the municipality having to pay that back? Where would they get the money from? Who are they?
So they have to pay it back, certain individuals and the municipality. And the judgment from the Free State High Court bench described the municipality as a faceless and untouchable perpetrator, causing a malfunction to the rule of law. So all of this is the ANC councillors have been sanctioned, and they have basically surrendered. They've rolled over to the Mafubi Business Council and Mafubi First and said, fix this place because we have to by law. And Mafubi is now generating a surplus. They're raising taxes. They went to the farmers and asked for a levy. I think it was 8 rand per hectare.
18
Nine-
you're right.
18.
You're right, 18 rand a hectare.
18 rand a hectare, and 90% of the farmers in the whole municipality contributed. So they raised a lot of money, paid off their debts, put money into capex. I mean, it's quite extraordinary what they've done. They put their money where their mouth is.
So these guys got on a plane, came to see you. Opa Mokoena and his white pals came to see you. What are they like? Are they people with lots of presence, or are they just ordinary? In other words, are they ordinary people doing an extraordinary thing?
They're extraordinary people doing extraordinary things, but no different to, I've been to Mossel Bay and sat with them Monday morning at the mayor's event, Cederberg First, the Neisner Council. These organizations are being formed across South Africa, piece by piece, municipality by municipality. And all the people are the South Africans you and I know and love. These are farmers, they're businessmen, they're ordinary residents, they're people from townships. They're the good people of South Africa rolling up their sleeves together and saying, ons maak 'n plan, ons wil dit regmaak.
Why are they reaching out to you, Rob?
Because they said, Rob, we need someone to amplify this story. We need someone to believe in us. We're the second smallest municipality in the country. We're in the middle of nowhere. You've never been there. I've driven past, and more lately I've just flown over. And he said, please come. We need you to come and have a look and spread the word. And that's why I wanted to come and chat to you, Alec, because the BizNews tribe are exactly those people all over South Africa. They're the people that make things happen, that stand up and accounted and want to fix things bottom up.
But I get it with the guys from Mafubi, but what about, you said, Cederberg, Neisner, various other organizations around Mossel Bay, around South Africa? Why did they go to Rob HERSOV? Here was a guy, not unknown, because you made a name for yourself internationally, but you weren't really that well known in South Africa. 5 years ago, pretty much just another name, who's now being approached by these people from these organizations, good people trying to make a difference in South Africa. Why you? Do they tell you why they reach out to you?
Because they said that I resonate with ordinary people in South Africa. The ANC doesn't love me, nor EFF and MK. The big corporate South Africans don't like what I'm saying. But the average South African, the man and woman in the street, say that I say what they can't afford to say. And that's thanks to you, Alec, thanks to BizNews, and thanks to the BizNews tribe. And I want to give you a few little pointers on the success of Mafubi First and what's happening in Mafubi. So electricity proves what competence looks like, okay? And Jacques of Rural FS sent me some information. He said, from February 2012 to January 2025, Mafubi have paid 1.13 billion rand to Eskom. Okay? 131 million rand has been spent in Mafubi on infrastructure upgrades. Capacity increased from 12.3 MVA to 21.1 MVA, and 30 million rand in royalties have been paid to the municipality. Vending stations increased from 4 to more, 20 plus online. There's been renewable energy investment, and electricity losses are below energy industry benchmarks. So the KPIs are extraordinary on what they've achieved since 2012, although the real impact has been obviously the last 5 years.
Healthcare matters, but what matters most?
Having cover for the people who keep this business going.
Bonitas is there for you when it counts. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. Visit bonitas.co.za and find your plan.
But it's an interesting model because it could be the privatization at a local level of inefficient, to be kind, structures, municipal structures that can be run by the private sector efficiently and everyone benefits.
I think the difference here is it was originally a black initiative that then attracted white support. So OPA pulled together Mafubi first. He said, we've had enough. We're not getting electricity. Sewage is terrible. Our people are suffering more than anyone else. We've had enough. We're forming Mafubi first. And then they went to Hans Pretorius. And if you saw the picture that I added to the article, Hans has got his in a Buddha outfit with his farmer's hat. He's a great guy. He's lovable. And, he and OPA worked together on Mafubi first. And that's the power of it, a black initiative initially with white support. That's the model.
Do you see similar instances elsewhere in the country of people from different backgrounds working together?
I haven't. I mean, Cederberg first is the leader is a fantastic colored guy. But in Mossel Bay and Knysna, I think it's been a little bit more top down. It's been the business community that started the initiative to say, we can't do business properly in our environment like this. We've got to do something about it. And then they're trying to pull the sort of black residents with them. I almost think the Mafubi model is a more powerful model.
But like what Prince was proposing at BNC 8, where he said that it's almost like you need the black guys to pick up and then pull in support from other communities. I hate this black-white race thing because we should be past it now, 30 years on, but it is what it is.
Alec,
Rob,
you're not really impressed me. It was the first BEE recipient to speak out on BizNews a few days ago, Sam Monsey.
Yeah, he was powerful.
Powerful. I mean, he's a neighbor of mine. He's a friend of mine. And wow, I just thought, good for him. Now we need Mossen Goshang, Silamaloko, Patrice Motsepe. We need them to say, look, we've benefited from BEE. Everyone knows that. But we actually agree BEE must end. What must be changed to actually help previously disadvantaged, not just blacks.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so now when we go forward from this, how would a municipality that, let's just say I'm living in a municipality that is totally dysfunctional, and it's clear it's one of those however many 100 are on the blacklist. They haven't paid Eskom. They don't get an audit report that is clean. Where do they start, given what you've seen from Mafube and elsewhere? Where would these guys begin to start fixing their local environment?
So we need to get OPA, Hans, and Julius on the road. We need to get them on BizNews. You need to interview the three of them together. And they need to then get on the road and start visiting other communities and saying, this is how it can be done. The three of them. I think they need to get on the road.
And then Freedom Front Plus, it looks increasingly like you are trading in your DA badge for a FF Plus badge.
Not necessarily. I think, I'm a big fan of Celia's Brink. I'm a huge fan of Helen Ziller, Retief, Odendaal, Jordan Hill Lewis. I think these are extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. And you can go down 2 to 3 levels in the DA to get extraordinary people. But I'm a big fan of the Freedom Front Plus too. Corne Mulder, I think, is world class. I think he's head and shoulders world class. And, you know, they are, my principles and values are aligned with the Freedom Front Plus. And I think they're natural allies with the DA. I hate it when they bitch at each other. You know, I don't like this Jordan Hilders, Peter Groenewald, handbags at dawn. Silly, stop it. The enemy is not one another. The enemy is in Pretoria, it's the ANC, and behind the scenes, the EFF and MK and the communists. They are the enemy. The DA, FF Plus are allies. They must stop scratching each other's eyes out. So only reason I raised Freedom Front Plus is because they are prominent in Mafubi. And of the 4 wards in November, Mafubi first will win 2, FF Plus will win the 3rd, and probably ANC the 4th. So these 3 wards will mean the council goes to the good guys. So we're going for OPAR, Hans, and the Freedom Front Plus. 3 of the 4 wards need to swing.
I'm sure you picked up the DA's win in Everton in a township for the very first time. What is your gut, or if more than that, your information telling you we can expect in the election on the 4th of November? What changes?
So that ward is not in Gauteng, but it's right on the border of Gauteng. It's the first black township that has been won outright by the DA. And it tells me that Helen is going to win in Gauteng. Absolutely no question.
She's going to win in Joburg.
She's going to win in Joburg.
And Celia in Tshwane?
He's going to win in Tshwane. And Retief Odendaal is going to win in Nelson Mandela Bay.
So, and that's what you're seeing on the polls, or is it what your gut is telling you and what people that you know are telling you?
I ask everyone in the market, right? Everyone in those areas, that the who's who in the zoo, you know, average people, and I believe the swing is going to be enormous. Big swing to the DA. Helen's going to get her 50%, her 490,000 votes. She's going to do it. And Celia's and Retief are going to do it as well in Tshwane and Nelson Mandela Bay. But, you know, you have natural allies in Freedom Front Plus and ACDP, and even, I'm going to say it, Action SA. You thought I was going to say something else.
PA, yeah. Not PA. But, Rob, are you then, when you have a look at that, and let's just say that your forecasts do come fruition, what does it mean for South Africa?
It's a huge swing to the center. It's fundamentally important that this happens, and it's fundamentally important that in those 3 metros we get quick wins. So every time I interview Celia's, Helen, or Retief, I say, you get elected, what are the quick wins you can make? And they give me the quick wins. They know the people they need to bring in, which is the biggest challenge of all, by the way, getting good people in those administrations. Because, you know, particularly Nelson Mandela Bay have lost all their good people. A lot of their good people are already working in the Cape Town metro. You know, Celia's has got a good bench ready to go, and Helen knows what she's doing. But, you know, people are not that keen to move from rest of South Africa up to Joburg. But in Joburg, there's a huge amount of talent. So Helen will pull those people together. And the quick wins are going to make all the difference. If the average and general population can see the quick wins happening in those 3 metros, they're going to say, all right, the DA and its allies can fix this country. Maybe they can do it at the national level. And then in 2029, maybe we're saved.
Well, Athol Trollip has been the mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay previously. He's with Action SA. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see him supporting, particularly now that John Steenhuisen's out of the way, who clearly Trollip did not have a very high regard for. But how else in Action SA? Are you seeing that maybe Mashaba is changing his tune?
Yeah, I mean, it really upset me that he handed over Tshwane to the ANC. And he did it for political expediency. But then again, the PA has done the same thing in Johannesburg. So, you know, it's politicking. That's what it is. They need to give their councillors jobs. They need to build experience, build their bench. I don't like it, but I get it. And I think come these municipals, you're going to see a return to Action SA returning to its capitalist, libertarian, rule of law, decency, centrist roots. You know, Herman Mashaba is an entrepreneur. He is a businessman and a successful one. He's a good guy. I'm still irritated what he did with Schweine, as are most people, but he can redeem himself this time round. He can be forgiven if he does the right thing.
Well, as always, it's great to be talking with Rob HERSOV. He's a global entrepreneur. He will be at the Biz News conference, as you heard earlier. That's in the Drakensberg from the 11th to the 14th of August. Come along. You will not regret it. It's going to be memorable. I'm Alec Hogg from biznews.com.